Hello, I'm talking to you from the backyard in Boise, Idaho. I live in Portland, Oregon, Milwaukee area, but I'm all the way over here in Boise, Idaho, in David Emerson's backyard, and it's nice and cool, and we have a message of encouragement to you. Uh, the end of it is to them persons that feel like their faith in Jesus is dead, and this will encourage them in a way no other will be able to, because this is part of my calling. I I I have other videos. You can go to YouTube. You can hear Preacher Joe Faber, and underneath it there's geraniums, and you go, "Oh man, what's spiritual about that?" Well, God said He created everything for His glory, so that kind of nips that question into the heart of man's truth instead of up here. So there's geraniums, there's marshmallows, there's rope and chair, there's penning for gold, and this is David Emerson, and I'm Joe Faber. So, and when we listen to these, here's the commission that we get. It will speak to us in a way that sometimes on the platform could never touch, because I'm in the front lines and I'm teaching that front line walk that I've had. So there's a lot of others. Now here's what you do with the message, is you listen to them, and I'm not telling you to, I'm inviting you to listen to them, and it will speak to the heart in a walk with Jesus that like we've never kind of heard before, and I'm saying it simply for Jesus' glory, not mine. Because if you knew what I went through to be able to speak like this, you wouldn't want to do it. So, and I'm not saying I'm special, I'm just Joe. But go to that, and then what you do is if you have a friend with all of these that you've listened to, and we're doing 3 right now that are more applicable to today's time and circumstances in the world. So you can listen to them, and then you can look at your friends. Here's how you do it. Here's what you do with it. You become active in your faith when you say, well, I know Fred or Susie way over there in another state, and she's going through this. Well, then after I listen, I can tell which one of these will be especially like a drink of water in the desert in the circumstance she is with Jesus, and to hunger and thirst in more of a walk with Him than we've been taught only in basic training. I teach advanced. And then you say, and now Susie or Fred, share it with others, but you can share it in your own little city. You can share it 5, 6 different ones of them. And that makes you active in your walk, instead of just sitting and listening and sitting and listening. I'm not being critical, I'm just being simple. There's more to the story of a walk with Jesus than that. And so you share it to someone, and then you tell them, and now when you listen to these, and you got friends in a different state, maybe even in a different country, say, go to, and it's called Preacher Joe Faber. It's on YouTube, and it'll say geraniums or rope and chair, and we did one tonight, water and oil, and we did one with Band-Aids. And so tell them to pass it ahead, like we're learning in the world to pay ahead. Well, pass this ahead to the exact ones they need to hear, so that when they get it and they know friends, they can choose of those which one would be exactly perfect. Tell them, pay it ahead, pay it ahead, pay it ahead, pay it ahead, and let Jesus be glorified. So, remember in the Bible, and I'm not going to say where it's at, because I know where stuff is, but I don't talk like that. Because even Jesus said, today this verse has been, prepared in your midst, or whatever. So remember when the one guy, Jesus asked the one guy, do you love me? And
Peter.
Thank you, Peter. See? And here's what he said: feed my sheep, because lambs, because lambs are first. Even in human understanding, lambs are first. And then he said, do you love me? Feed my sheep. And then he says, do you love me? Feed my sheep. And in each one of those we've been taught, and at this point it's phileo and agape. Well, I read this a few times, and I go, okay. you know. Um, I'm an ordained minister, but I don't wear the title like, look at me. Uh, it's not on the table at my desk. And then Jesus turns to me and he says, Joe, do you love me? And man, that cut me in the heart, like big time. My brain had nothing to say with it, my heart. And I like could fall off the chair if I could say it that way. And I get back up on the chair. I didn't hear him say, feed my lambs. I didn't hear it because he totally neutralized me. And I got up off the chair, and Jesus said, these are gifts, not condemnation. It's called now awareness, because we're taking it to the streets. Where we learned in the building, now we're going to take it to the street. He says, so do you love me? He says, and I fell off. I said, Jesus, I need you so bad in my life. Street talk. That there's times that if I didn't know you were with me, I'd have no reason to keep on. And he goes, good, Joe. That's wonderful. Now open up this one, this gift. And you open up, and he goes, oh, now I'm going to interject. David, we got different coins here. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put them in my hands. They're all different kinds. And I'm going to say, David, I want you to choose one of these. We make him active. And so, and I says, and if you're going to grab it fast, I ain't going to let you have him. Because when David went down to the brook against Goliath, it says he chose. And chose is not, oh, that's shiny and that's big and that. No, he took time to choose. The word choose means to choose. Because in that choosing process, you know the destination for that stone, not just what I think. So choose one day. Okay, now here's what we're going to do with it. I say, put it inside here. You go like, where are you going with this, Joe? Put it inside here, face up. Now this message is to help us grow street talk, and it's also teaching us, like the 3 bottles, the do you love me and feed my sheep. So I stick this inside of here, and so Jesus asked me the second time, he goes, do you love me? And when he asks a question like that to me, I expect, in my understanding, is to say, this is why I love you. 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 And so here I told him, I need you today in my life desperately, even more than I did when I was a baby Christian. And out of that talk, God's going to use us. And people are going to be hungry for it. And they're going to want it. But this will be able to help. But it's going to end up with the person whose faith is dead. It's like a 2-part thing. And so Jesus says, now open this one up the second time. Do you love me? And I go, oh, I love you because you died for my sin. No, I already understood that. And I come to, like, what do I say? And then I get the thought, Jesus, if I could do this. Now this ain't crude, this is street talk. In a walk with you and me, the us part of your name. I say, Jesus, if I could take my heart out, I'd lay it on the table in front of you and say, Jesus, let my heart speak to you. Because I can't put words to it. I just flat need you bad, that's all. And I'm not ashamed of it. And the needing you is to help heal me inside. You that began a good work in me will see it through to completion. So Jesus, I lay my heart on the table before you, like, and I say, because Jesus, street talk, truth. Because sometimes in here, and this is for growth, not for condemnation, it's for awareness. I say, because sometimes in here, Jesus, right, in my heart, sometimes in here, it always don't come out so good. Street talk, man, we can hear that because it always don't come out so good. Jesus says, wonderful. He says, now, the third time, not phleon agape, it's called, now I'm working with the clay of your life for the purpose of this, plus the purpose of why I'm doing this in your life. And he says, Joe, open this one. He says, do you love me? I just need him, and I'm not ashamed of it. I just need him, and I'm not ashamed of it. It don't come from here, it comes from here, from my heart attitude with Jesus, my love for him. And so I go, so I reach inside, I take it out, but instead of laying it on the table, I offer my heart to Jesus in my hands. I say, Jesus, I offer you my heart in my hands. And then Jesus would say, Joe, open it up slowly and carefully. Just open it up slowly. And I'm doing this like in my heart, because I don't, So I'm doing this slowly and carefully. Go. Open it, now move your hand to different areas. And I'm looking, because I never heard talk like this before. I go, whoa, that's in my heart?
Yes, that is in your heart.
What is, and Jesus would say, that's
the
my love
for you, Joe.
And if for me, that's your love for me. For Jesus would say, for me, it's in your heart. And I go, really?
Yes, I put that love for me, or for Jesus, into your heart.
I say, now we eye contact. I say, really?
Yes.
In my heart? Like, really?
Yes.
Because sometimes it don't feel like that. Sometimes my faith is dead.
Or slow.
No, I call it dead. And so Jesus says, I say, in my heart, that's my love for you, Jesus. I go, wow, really? And it kind of blows me away, right? Because I never heard words like this before. And Jesus goes, and Joe, your love for me that's in your heart, that your love for me in your heart, he goes, your love for me that is in your heart, he said, Joe, I put it in there. And I give it to the person. And you know what that does, the preparation, the words of how I spoke like me, and I tell them, it's yours. And they walk away with an awareness, street talk, where they're like at in life. They never heard words like that before. And so Jesus has taught me to do this. And the words that I say are the words that he only has me to say. Not a lot of eloquence, not a lot of look at me stuff, and the people go away when their faith is dead, and I give that to them. I don't have to use a lot of scriptures. Jesus used parables.
And giving this to me then puts part of Jesus into my heart. And I carry it on to the next person. I carry it on to whomever, because now I have the love of Jesus in my heart, and I could give it to others just as you gave it to me. The love of Jesus that is now into my heart, and when I open it up and look for Jesus, he is in there.
And you know what he is in there for, people? Because it says he that began a good work in you. He's fixing. He's not now only awareness of him being in there. Now he's fixing what in life other people broke on you, or your friends broke on you, or even you broke. He wants to come and fix it. And what kind of a God is that? Whoever would think, but they will understand God's workmanship in him, and they're going to allow him to fix it, because he's in there now, and his love for him, the need for him, the hunger for him, the desire to want to change for him is all included in. He put it in my heart, not my head, my heart. And so people, this is meant to hear. This is meant to realize. In life we want to know what is real, and all this stuff, and what we hear, see, think, or say, that has nothing to do with faith. Someday there'll be a message on that, the difference between 5 senses and faith. So, this is necessary for today. And our brothers and sisters who need to hear this message that you have experienced and heard, and it makes sense, then you need to be able to share that and say, go to Preacher Joe Faber, YouTube, and there's like
A dozen?
a dozen or
Over
so, and
yeah.
now more. But take time just to turn it off and quit acting religious, because that don't work. But Israel, we want to know what Israel, and Israel, we've been to that place where we want to know what is real in this craziness. And Israel is called God's people. God's people. So when we hunger for what Israel, that means that he's drawing us, sitting us at a table in the midst of our circumstances. He prepares a banquet for us. These messages that I give will be able to do that as we experience, and then give it to other people and tell them, send it ahead to someone else who needs to hear out of all of these messages, maybe this one. See, that allows you to act like you're in the maturing process, not look at me, but in the maturing process to where you say, listen to this. And when they're done, send it to someone else. And make it go around the world, because that's what God has put in my heart, not me talking, just the words I say, not my face. You know, because like, golly, it's not about this. It ain't about how perfect I gotta look. That's religion. That's not faith in Jesus' walk. And he did a whole lot of stuff around the people who are real in the world. And that's what he's doing with us now. He ain't keeping it to a building. He's keeping it, taking it to the people who are hungry and dying. And you can hear people say, like a bomb will go, like boom, hang, and go out slow. And part of my calling is evangelist, but like boom, and I seen this. And these are people, but we have to be led by the Spirit, not the spirit of this, the Spirit of Jesus that's in us. We need to learn, and it takes a while to learn. It took me, I'm still learning. I'm in the ing part of the walk. That means active. It doesn't mean sit and say you're in control. Well, there's a lot of stuff going on, and he's looking for those little ruddy guys, or who will go, and then he'll take the coals off the altar and get rid of something that becomes what man would think as a hindrance. They can say what they want, but when God heals a place so that when we speak, they understand. They understand. He will make our language simple so that the littlest of people can eat and know that he's real. That's Israel. God's doing this in this movement right now, and everybody needs him desperately to allow the understanding of what he's working inside and healing. So I don't want to talk too much, but this is where it's at, this street talk. And so thank you, and may God bless the hearers and the eaters, because the Bible says out of the mouth of the eater comes food. Jesus be glorified in these words and in people's lives.